started? Are we good? Hello? Hi. I'm so excited. I have no idea where this episode is going to fall in line with the trillion other episodes that we have recorded and that we haven't edited yet. So I just want you to introduce yourself to the people and just tell them a little bit about yourself, how you're here, what you do, your Instagram, and then we'll get started on this journey.
Awesome. Sounds amazing. So my name is Sara. I am a hairstylist, bridal hairstylist here in San Diego. I have been doing bridal hair for over 10 years now. And my Instagram handle is Hairspray Studio.
You're a queen. You're so good.
Thank you.
It blows my mind every time, which I don't actually know if I've ever told you this. When we first started working together, my first initial thought was, she's so good and she's so serious about, like, you're so on top of everything in your job. And I think it was really intimidating for me because I looked at you and I was like, oh, she's like, you're so put together at weddings and you're so on top of everything. And I feel like I'm a little bit more fluid at weddings, and you always look so good. And sometimes I dress so frumpy and I'm like, damn, I'm like, I wonder what she thinks of me. And when I first met you, I thought to myself, I'm like, Sara does not like me. Sara does not like me at all. And it turns out you do. And you're really nice. You're just really serious when it comes to your job. And that's one of the things I think that I actually really look up to you about. I just find it so, I don't know. I just find that you're so passionate about your job and you take things so seriously. And that's why I love to work with you. And I feel like we work so well together. And that's why I'm excited to have you on today too, to talk about all sorts of wild, wacky things that you all are going to want to hear.
Yes, wacky things that happen.
What you and I were just actually talking about before we turned on the cameras and everything was Instagram and our Instagram follower count, and how you said we have to ride the wave of Instagram, which I thought was actually a really good point. I know for me, I was just telling you that I can't seem to break 56,000 followers, which is it's so frustrating because when I think about it, I'm like, God, this is so stupid. Why do I care about 56,000 followers? You know what I mean? Why do I care about the number? And I can't help myself. I do. And what I was just telling you is that in the span of a week, it said that I had gained 561 followers. And then in that very same week, I lost 560 followers. So out of all of that, I gained 1 follower.
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous?
And then you made a great point. You were like, well, it could be brides that want to book you. And then, either I wasn't available or whatever happened. So they probably unfollow you, which is probably very true. But also I'm like, what the heck? Instagram? It's just so...
Yeah, it's really tough to get content out there now. If you started when Instagram first started, it was a lot easier. Or when Reels first started, it was a lot easier, right, to get your content out there. But now it's just, it's oversaturated.
It's very oversaturated.
It's oversaturated, and it's hard to get views and get your videos out there. And a lot of people, they follow out of what's the word I'm looking for? Impulse sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
You liked one video and it's like, oh, and then you see another one and it's like, oh, that's not really the content I want to see. So they unfollow you.
That's kind of true though, because that's how I am. If I see content, if I I'm just on the For You page or whatever, the popular page, I'll look at something and I'll like a video and I'll go follow them from that video. Because I'm pretty sure on Instagram, if you like it, there's an easy way to follow them right then and there.
Yeah.
And I find that I do that, and then I feel like the next time I see their videos, I'm like, this kind of sucks. Mm-hmm. Or if you go view their page, I'm like, this is not my type of content. You just happen to post one video that I thought was intriguing.
Yeah. And the next one was not so much. So it's like, oh, never mind. I don't want to follow you. Or like I mentioned, it could be brides that wanted to book you, but they can't because you're not available.
Yeah, which has been happening kind of a lot.
Yeah. And some, which would be weird, but it does happen if they already had their wedding and they no longer want to see your content. You know what I mean? That's a weird
one. Which that's the most sad.
That's a weird one, though, because if you were a past bride of mine or client, I would want you to still follow me.
Well, don't you like me?
Right?
Don't you want to see how I'm doing?
Yes.
Which I hope that most people do. But I mean, I could understand how, especially now with, and this is a whole other freaking topic, but weddings now and brides now, like the Instagram bride is such an era. Like it is such a different species of bride than even 4 years ago.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I genuinely, honestly, anytime I have a bride and they like come in for their trial, I'm like, how's it going? And I just see like the pure, like, I don't know, they feel fucked in a way. Like they are stressed out. They feel like they kind of have to overdo everybody else or outdo or do something. You know, everybody says, I want to be different. But no one's ever different. They keep doing the same things.
Yeah. There is no bride, absolutely no bride that says, I cannot wait for my wedding day. This has been the most happiest experience of my life.
Stress-free.
They just want, I want this to be
Over with.
I cannot wait for the wedding day to be here so this could be over. And I just, do nothing at all.
And everybody always says, I should have eloped. And I'm all, honestly, you probably should have.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you to because I want to do your makeup. And I want to be paid.
Yeah.
So don't elope. But it's true. It is.
Contract.
Yeah. No, which we're going to get into that because, okay.
Already signed a contract.
Oh my God. Okay. This actually, I'm going to go right into this because look, we only got 40 minutes. So I really want to like hit the nail. Okay. I want to start off by saying I love how transparent you are on Instagram with situations that you have been placed in due to clients, brides, whatever. And why I love you so much is because you talk about it like very openly on your Instagram. And it's not on your close friends. You have it on, she said it is on my stories.
It's all for all the thousands to see.
But I love because honestly, like I am scared sometimes to post certain things because like we were talking about before we, did all this is like, obviously I don't want to necessarily offend anyone in specific. And I, like how you were saying, someone else told you like, aren't you scared what brides are going to say or what your clients are going to think? And honestly, I love that you're just so extremely transparent about what you expect and also how you run your business. I just think that is freaking awesome. So a situation that I had that I want to ask your advice on, and this is a current situation. So hopefully this girl doesn't say it, but if she does, what can you do? So I had a bride booked for 5/25 this year, obviously 5/25/25. It's a Sunday.
It's a popular day.
Oh my God.
25.
I want to say that I turned down like
10.
I was going to say probably 7 to 10 potential brides for that date because I had booked this person a significant time ago, maybe like even 6 months ago. And she had just emailed me and informed me, God, I wish I could read her email verbatim. She started off by saying, Shelby, I'm so sorry. I have to do this. And in my head, I'm like, you're fucking canceling. Great. Here we go. So my biggest thing is always like, I want to know why. Like, why are you canceling? God, if there was like something like, like something that you genuinely could not help, then like, okay, we'll maybe figure out a solution. But her first line in the email to me said, due to extreme financial hardship, we've decided to, I think, cancel, or I don't think she used the word postpone. I think she used the word cancel our wedding. And so I feel like when somebody starts off by saying, like already initially saying, I ain't got no money, tells me I'm not going to get paid for my time, for the contract that we both signed. I didn't just sign it. You signed it too. And in my, I've talked about this briefly, but in my cancellation policy, I have where if you cancel at all, like at all, right then and there, you owe 25% of the total. Okay. And then if you cancel within 90 days, you owe 50%. And then if you cancel within 60 days, you owe the entire thing, which I feel like is honestly pretty fair. Like, I don't think that sounds crazy. Because, weddings are booked literally like a year in advance.
Yeah.
So if you're canceling and you're giving me a month or two beforehand, I'm honest to God probably not going to be able to book another wedding. And I've also turned down thousands of other people for that day. So anyways, I emailed her back. Obviously said how sorry I was because I'm not a fucking horrible person. I do have feelings and I do feel bad that like you're obviously going through something. But also at the end of the day, it's like the 25% honestly was like, I think she owes me like $300 or something. Mm-hmm. And so I have them sign a cancellation agreement form so that way I don't have to show up. It voids out the contract. And then I send them an invoice and I have out there like in the invoice, the part of the I put that in there, the part of the contract that they initialed and signed because I didn't just sign it. You signed it too. And I made you initial. So you obviously read it. I hope. Don't be just signing things without reading it.
That's crazy.
And people do, clearly, because this was maybe like 2 weeks ago and I haven't heard back from her. I have HoneyBook, so it shows me if they have received the invoice and all these other things. And she viewed it literally within like 2 minutes of me sending it. Mm-hmm. So I know she saw it. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I didn't just send it through HoneyBook. I also sent it in an email. Perfect. So that way she would have, like, couldn't say, oh, honey, I didn't get anything on HoneyBook. Yeah. And so I sent her the links to both the cancellation agreement form and the invoice. And I sent her in that same email, pretty much just told her same thing. Like, I'm so sorry. I genuinely, like, know you probably didn't expect any of this. I said, this is literally the worst part of my job, but it's unfortunately part of my job that I have to do. Mm-hmm. And I have not heard back from her. So my question, what would you do? Have you had that situation where people just like ghost you and just don't say anything?
Oh, girl.
Sarah said, let me tell you.
I have sued 2 brides. But to answer your question really quick, it's been 2 weeks?
It's been 2 weeks.
And crickets?
Crickets.
Okay. So now you send a letter of demand.
Okay.
Mail, email, text, all 3 forms.
Okay.
You type up a letter of demand and you're saying, dear so-and-so, I need you to pay this cancellation fee by X date. Mm-hmm. If this amount is not paid by X date, then we will go to small claims.
Okay.
You have 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever.
I was even going to give her until her wedding day. Like,
you could put until her wedding day.
I'm like, because technically she really wasn't supposed to owe me that money. So I now as of this year take all electronic payment. I don't take cash anymore because I'm officially like I actually claim my business. Hey-o. Yeah. IRS, don't come for me. But I claim my business. So anyway, so I have people pay like a week in advance, like latest. Okay. So it's like she wasn't even going to pay until May anyway. So I don't necessarily mind, and it gives her a little bit of extra time to scrounge up some coins in her couch and to pay me.
And that already is extremely gracious,
right,
of you. So if that's going to be the way to go, keep it like that. You have until May 25th
okay
to pay me the cancellation fee. If not, we would have to settle in court.
Okay,
that's her warning. If you do not hear anything by May 25th,
that's when you would take it.
You go and you take it to small claims.
Okay,
and you file your paperwork. It's $35, and then you go serve her.
Oh my God. Okay, so you've done this. Clearly.
Yes.
You've done this before.
I'm a pro. I will fill out your paperwork. I will go to court for you.
I will cry.
I will represent you.
Oh my God. Okay, so when I'm really interested to know, like, when the first time this happened.
Okay.
The first time this happened, I guess, what was your thought process? What was like the situation, I guess?
So the first bride that did this, I was supposed to be doing her hair and her makeup for her wedding day.
Okay.
And when we did the trial, she wanted like white eyeshadow.
Okay.
On her eyes.
Okay.
Which I didn't have like the whitest of whites. I just had a normal.
Yeah, white doesn't look that good. So anyways.
No, I had a normal bride white, but she wanted like white out.
Oh.
And I didn't have that. So she brought out her palette and I, used her eyeshadow and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then a month later, she says, I'm going to have to cancel my makeup services with you because I wasn't really happy with the makeup part of the trial.
Okay.
That's completely understandable. It's okay.
Okay.
You still want to keep your hair services? And she said, yeah, I still want to keep hair services. I'm like, perfect. No problem. I'm not going to make a bride go through with a makeup part if she's not happy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it was hair. If she's like, hey, you know what? I didn't like it. I wasn't happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
No worries.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks before the wedding, she texts me and she says, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to be canceling hair services as well.
Okay, so now you're canceling everything.
Yeah, so now she canceled everything.
Oh,
and
no.
I texted her back and I was worried and I was like, oh my God, like, was it something that I did? Did you not like? She's like, no. I was totally happy with the hair part. I think you're fabulous, blah, blah. But the makeup artist that I hired works with the hairstylist and it's just going to be cheaper for me to go that route.
She said, I'm being honest.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll be honest too.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
We have a contract.
Yeah.
And you have to read the fine print. And now you owe me a last minute cancellation fee.
Absolutely.
Which was back then $250.
Nothing.
It was nothing.
Nothing.
And she said, what? And I'm like, yes, read the contract. And she's like, well, I'm not paying you. And she hung up.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. So I just went on my laptop, typed up the letter of demand, and I printed it out. I put it in an envelope, drove to Escondido to her home, knocked on her door, and gave her the envelope and said,
oh my God,
7 days to respond.
Oh my God.
Have a great day. And I just turned around and walked away and got in my car.
Oh my God.
She never responded. 7 days later, I went to court. I submitted the paperwork. And the next time we were knocking on her door was to serve her.
Oh my God.
So I had another makeup artist friend of mine serve her. The court date came. We went to court.
Did she show up?
She showed up.
Okay.
And they give you an option to mediate before going to the judge. And they start telling you, like, this is your last chance to mediate because if you lose your case, it's going to go on your record. And blah, 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 blah. So she, of course, is like, let's go. Let's go. And I was like, fine. So we went into the mediator thing, and she's like, well, I don't think that I should pay you for this, blah, blah, blah. The mediator's like, well, you signed a contract. If we go to the judge right now,
you're going to have to pay it.
You're going to have to pay it. And she's like, well, I think it should be prorated to the amount of days prior to when she canceled, which is 2 weeks. And she thinks that it should be like $20 a day, whatever.
Okay.
It was something crazy.
Okay.
And I said no. Like, you're going to pay me what's stipulated on the contract.
Well, yeah, you freaking signed it.
Otherwise, we can go to the judge next door. And, she's like, I just don't understand. Like, she's getting her purse out. I just don't understand. Like, this is so unfair. And I tried to explain, like, to her, like, hey, like, I'm a small business.
And this isn't personal.
Yeah, it's not personal. I'm a small business. Like, you wouldn't do this to any other vendor, I don't believe.
Imagine them doing this to their venue.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, you're just full of shit. And she kept on, like, writing the check. She's like, if you were any good, you would be able to book another wedding. I'm like, I'm not a nail salon.
Yeah.
Or a lash artist that I can just call someone and be like, hey, I have an opening in 2 weeks. You want to come in? Like,
you want to get married that day?
Yeah. No bride is going to be waiting 2 weeks before her wedding for me to call her.
Yeah.
As a backup plan. She ended up paying, and that was that. She left me a 1-star review on Yelp or something, or The Knot, saying, that I didn't have the right makeup stuff, and that I worked on wigs, and that my hairstyles weren't real, and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no.
And that was that. I mean, what do? You do run the risk of getting a bad review.
That was my other question.
I don't care.
I love you. God.
I don't care. You know, it's like there's always going to be that one client.
You can't please everybody.
You can't. Yeah. It's impossible. And honestly, for me, when I see like 100, like if I see 200 5 stars.
Yeah. You're like, how?
It's also to me like, is it really?
Yeah.
Because it's not realistic.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So it's like, after you get a negative review, you try to respond the best that you can to that negative review and try to explain your side of the story, because there's always 2 sides of the story. There's not just one.
Yeah.
So it's like, just write down your side, and hopefully the client that's looking into your work and is reading reviews can have a little bit of like judgment and say, yeah, that's a crazy one.
Okay. Got it. So you would just say, if you do get something negative, obviously to just like, counter it and explain yourself why.
Yeah, defend yourself.
Because there was obviously a reason. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, That's so wild. I'm happy you got paid.
Yeah, me too.
Did that make you feel like
yeah, so
like,
that was the first time, like, I was scared. Like, I was, like, intimidated. But, like, after I saw that, I mean, contracts are contracts. It's a binding agreement here. So it's like, if you have your contract, if you had a lawyer look at it, if you have all your T's and I's, like crossed and covered, you're going to be fine. There's no reason to be scared.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think I just sometimes I feel so nice. You know me.
Yes.
And I'm so, not always, I've been getting a lot better, but I'm very like understanding and like lenient on things. But then the more that I'm like, no, dude, I own a freaking house now. Like, I have bills to pay.
Yes.
And granted, even if I didn't have it doesn't matter. It's like at the end of the day, what I need to remind myself and what I tell other makeup artists, sometimes I don't take my own advice. What I tell other people is like, I did not force this person to work with me and to sign this contract.
Exactly.
If you saw this contract and you felt like, no, this is too much, which I'm sure maybe because my contract is freaking crazy. It's long. It's extensive. There's 1,000 parts where you have to initial and sign and all this stuff because I want to make sure that I'm covered and that no matter, and like, it doesn't even just protect me. It protects the client. Like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be there. God, if I didn't show up, you could sue me. Yes. I mean, unless I died or something, which, listen.
No, exactly. But it's like you bring up, and then a lot of artists are like, oh, it's because I want to like empathize with the client, or if she's going through a hard time already, I'm already. I'm sorry, but that's not your problem.
I know. That's literally what Kyla just told me about this client situation I just had and it was so funny because we had just got done with the wedding, and I got this email while we were eating lunch, and I looked down and I literally went, oh my God. And she goes, she knew right away. Mm-hmm. And my first thing that I said was, I feel so bad. And she goes, that's nice of you. Mm-hmm. Don't. Mm-hmm. Like, you did not put her in this financial situation. She obviously, something happened some way. She probably owes her venue. She probably owes her photographer. And she's going to pay those people. Why do you not get paid? Why do all these other people get paid and you don't?
Yeah.
And I'm all, fuck.
And there's been situations where brides have like they've had to cancel their wedding kind of last minute, not weeks, but maybe like 2 months or something. And they say, my mom just got diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
My dad just died.
Yeah.
And we need to postpone, or we need to move, or we decided not to get married at this point. And there's situations like that where it's like, this is out of anybody's control. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to charge you.
Yeah.
But when it's a situation where I didn't sit down and calculate my expenses, that's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, I definitely get it.
Yeah. So
I need to be better about it, honestly. Yes. And I tell people that too all the time. I'm like, no, you have to be strong in your business. You have to stand up for yourself, because if you don't stand up for yourself, no one's going to stand up for you. No one's going to push like the way you are. Like, and so it's nice to have somebody else tell me that. And then the fact that like you have been through this.
Yeah.
Not one, but
twice.
Two times. Which, okay, what happened with the second time?
The second one, she was a red flag from the beginning. I already know that. But I honestly can deal with all types of people. I really, really can. Difficult, easy, whatever it is. And she was already a red flag from the beginning.
Okay, why was she a red flag? What made her?
She didn't know what she wanted.
Ugh, yeah.
And brides that are indecisive, that do not know what they want, are the worst for us, because they don't know what they want, no matter what you do.
Oh God, amen.
And nothing that you do
is good enough.
Or it seems to please them, because they don't even know what they want.
I just talked about the episode that I was editing last night of Lacey and I, which I don't know when it'll come out, but we were saying one thing that grinds our gears is when a bride needs almost like constant reassurance from everyone, because she doesn't know what she wants. Yeah. And those type of people are impossible to please.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
So she was one of those, and I knew that. When she started sending me 20 inspo pics.
And they're all different.
And they were all different. And I'm like, well, which one is it? And she's like, I don't know, maybe this one, maybe this one. I was like, okay, we'll just come in for a trial and we'll see. She had virgin hair, very thin. It didn't hold a damn thing. She was going to get married by the beach. She wanted to half up, half down. It was just every single ingredient was a perfect one for chaos. And I was like, okay, we did the trial. It looked beautiful. I put up the reel, over 1,000 likes. It was great.
Oh my God.
It went really well. And 2 days later, she's like, I didn't like it. Can we try something else? And I was like, sure. She came in for another one.
Do you make them pay for another Okay, yeah. Good.
It also depends.
Yeah, okay. Because she left there saying she liked it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay, yeah.
So if you liked it and you left and you said it was okay and then you came back and you're like, oh, never mind. It's like, well.
And I'm wondering, when you left and you liked it so much, did you get influenced from other people that you didn't like it?
You never know.
Did you FaceTime your mom and she said, I don't like the way your hair looks? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Something like.
So many variables that it's like, okay. So she came in again. And then she sent me a picture 30 minutes later. She's like, the bobby pins are falling. The bobby pins, in fact, were not falling.
You said, sure.
Yes. And I said, you know what? I'll just secure them more for the day. You know, it's like, yeah. It's okay, honey.
And that's like a very simple, like, fix.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's just an extra bobby pin or two.
Yeah.
So I just told her, okay. I'm like, I'll just super secure it for the day.
Yeah.
And then the next day she sends me another picture and says, you know what? I want this instead. And then the next day and the next and the next and the next. And she's like, no, maybe this one and this one. And this is the one. And just leading up to her wedding, every day was a text from her saying, you know what?
No.
This, and that. So I usually do not do the schedule until a week and a half before the wedding.
Okay. Just because things are ever changing.
Yes. Because somebody dropped out, because somebody wants to get added on, because the coordinator changed the time, because photographer wants you ready an hour before.
Yeah.
And you have to do multiple timelines because you decided to do it 3 months before.
Yeah. Makes sense.
In some cases, like, I understand that it is peace of mind for some brides that you give them the schedule 3 months before, but it's just double, triple.
It's extra work
for us to be rearranging everything. So exactly a week before the wedding, I sent her the schedule. And she had been confirming throughout the months, this is the amount of services I'm going to be having.
Oh, God.
I'm going to have 6 girls. 6 girls? Okay.
And you fly through that shit.
Right?
You blow my mind. I'm over here on my second person. Sarah's over here. She's all, bye, I'm done. I'm all, what? And everybody looks so good. I'm all, oh, my God, I have 4 more fucking people to do.
So she had 6 people. She confirmed 6 people. I do the schedule. I send it out. A day after I sent her the schedule, she says, oh, I'm so sorry to let you know that one of my bridesmaids just dropped. Normally, I would have been like, that's fine. And I would have done another schedule.
But that's annoying.
But because she had been so annoying.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
And so indecisive and so difficult the whole time.
Yeah.
I enforced the contract.
Good.
And I said, that's fine. She just has to pay the last minute cancellation fee.
Or like swap somebody else in there. Have your Aunt Barb slip in there.
Yes. Or just trade it with somebody else. I sent her that message. God. 20 minutes later, she texts us back and she says, I'm canceling my whole services completely.
No.
The whole wedding. A week before.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I said, I am so sorry to hear. However, comma. Yes. Under my contract, there is a last minute cancellation fee of $500 that you will have to pay.
Okay. So that's how you do it. Yeah. So you just do your cancellation fee. Yes. You don't necessarily charge like the whole.
No. So the retainer is $300 and then the last minute cancellation fee is $500, which is a total of $800.
Okay.
Which I feel comfortable getting.
Okay.
For a day that I didn't do anything.
Okay. Got it.
I wasn't there.
Yeah. You know? God, it's so interesting to see how everybody like does things so differently.
Yeah, and there's so many artists that will charge you the full amount of the bridal party.
That's me. That's me.
And that's fine. If that works for your business and that works for you and that's what you demand, you deserve to. Mm-hmm. That's your part. Nobody could tell you like this is wrong or this is right. That part alone is your choice.
Yeah.
And my choice is I keep your retainer of $300.
Which is a good retainer.
Yeah, when you booked. And then your $500 cancellation fee, which is a total of $800 in a day. I could live off
She said, sure.
Sure, I can live off $800. You know?
Okay, got it.
One day and I didn't do anything. That's fine. So I told her she had to pay the cancellation fee. She's like, well, I'm not paying that. And you can fight me for it if you want.
Oh.
And I said,
She said gloves are coming off.
say no more.
Here we go.
Yes, say no more. And I was like, you know, like in my, at this point, we're no longer texting. At this point, this is where you email. I love texting my clients. All of my clients text me. They DM me. They can reach me however. But this is where it gets serious to where we go to emails.
Got it.
So at this point, I send an email and I tell her, I'm so sorry, you know, like this happened. I really wish I could have worked with you. But because you chose to cancel your services, now I have to charge you the cancellation fee. This is a cancellation fee. I screenshot the photo of where she initialed.
You signed.
Nobody forced you to sign. It means you read it and you agreed with it. Therefore, you signed it. So if you are in agreements with it, then you have to go through with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Tis the law.
Tis the law. And along with that, the letter of demand. I expect this payment to be sent by your wedding day.
Okay.
Which is next week.
But
I'm going to give you an additional week. Because I'm feeling gracious.
Yes. Because I'm feeling so gracious and kind.
So gracious. So I gave her 2 weeks to pay.
Okay.
Crickets.
Of course.
Yeah. So after that, I gave her another letter of demand.
How soon after your first initial email with the letter of demand did you send her the other letter of demand?
After that one expired. And I gave her another week.
Okay.
And I'm telling her again, I'm giving you 1 more week to give me the payment. Otherwise, we will have to go to small claims. No response either. So I went to small claims, did the paperwork again.
She said, been here, done that.
Been here, done that. I already know what to do. Had my friend, again, go.
Same friend?
No, a different one.
Oh, okay.
Try to go and serve her. And her husband was actually outside the apartment. So he saw a girl with an envelope looking for his wife. And said, she's not here. God. She got the gist that we were trying to serve her.
Okay.
So she texted me like a week later. Or no, she emailed me a week later. And she said, oh, you know, I'm so sorry about how things ended. She's like, I wish.
I'm sure you are.
If there's a way to just put this behind us.
There is. Pay $500.
No, she's like, I'll be more than happy to pay you like $100 or $200.
That's cute.
Yeah, it is.
Add cute, $400 right? To that.
Yeah, she's like $200 for the day.
John's face right now.
And I'm like, girl, you are in no position to negotiate right now.
This ain't Shark Tank.
Yeah. Like,
you can't counter offer.
No. This is the fee. This is what I expect for you to pay.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like, well, I just don't think it's fair. But, you know, she tried to like defend herself or whatever. She's like, I can give you $250. But I'm telling her, like, you are in no position to negotiate my cancellation fee. There was a contract. You signed. You agreed. I agreed. I held up my part. Now it's time for you.
Absolutely.
To hold up your part.
Yes.
She's like, well, how do I know that you're going to go cancel the... Oh, and then that's when, since I hadn't served her... Oh, and by the way, otherwise we can see each other September 18th at court at this time. And she's like, well, how do I know that if I pay you now that you're like going to cancel the lawsuit?
Because I wouldn't win if you paid me.
One, but that's when I like pointed it out. I'm like, I have followed through with my end.
Yeah.
This whole time. The loss of trust was with you.
Yeah.
When you decided to cancel and when you decided not to follow through on your side of the contract. So at the end, she ended up paying.
I know.
She Venmo'd me.
I know.
And I told her, I'm like, if you pay now, what I'm asking for, you're not going to have to pay the filing fee, which is $35, and my lawyer fees. It was going to be a lot.
You have a lawyer?
Yes, I have a lawyer.
Oh God, I can't wait to talk about this.
I have a lawyer on speed dial.
How'd you find this person?
He actually represented my mom over 10 years ago and won her a pretty nice settlement.
Oh my God.
So he has been my lawyer and my go-to ever since.
Do you pay him? Okay, now I'm going to ask questions. Do you pay him like like a retainer fee to like hold his services? Do you just pay him when it's done? You haven't had to pay him anything because you win.
No, I haven't paid him anything ever.
Oh my God.
He's just really nice. Like he's kind of retired.
Oh my God.
So he's kind of like hungry for like.
Yeah, he wants back in the game.
Back in the game, but he's not in the game, so he doesn't really charge.
It's fun for him.
Yeah, it's fun for him.
Oh my God.
And I use him when other brides try to
get freaky,
intimidate me with their lawyers. So it's like, because I had a bride.
I remember, which, okay, yes. We're going to talk about that too.
I've had them all.
Sarah sat on the couch. She's all crying. She said, why? She said, just leave me alone.
You know what? Honestly, I'm glad it happens to me because I know how to deal with it.
Me too.
And I will deal with it. I like send them to me. Like I will take care of them for you. Like I prefer it to happen to me than somebody else that doesn't know how to deal with it, doesn't know what to do,
scared,
and is just scared.
Yeah.
I'd rather it be me, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, because you really are, like I was saying in the very beginning of this, I just feel like you do take your business so seriously. And not to say, obviously, that I don't or anything, but we're just so, I don't know. I just love that you're very stern with your business. And I just think it's fucking cool. Like, you're just so on top of it. And I think you're just not afraid to represent your business in that type of a way.
Yeah.
So I just think that's fucking awesome.
You know what? And I feel like we're not going to go like that route, but I feel that it's because life, like literally, I have let a lot of people step all over me or like do what they want with me. That at this point in life, it's like, I don't care who you are. I'm not the one.
God. See, that's so inspiring. Literally, the last episode with Kyla, which I'm not going to cry on this one, Jesus. My last episode with Kyla, I've been working my whole life on like standing up for myself, and it's a really big thing for me.
Yeah.
And I talked about a situation that like changed my it was my first time of me ever standing up for myself, and ever since then, I always try to like go one, just like do a little better than that. Like stand up for yourself just even a little bit more. So it obviously it takes time to finally be okay with representing yourself.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, no one else is going to do it.
Yeah. Only you.
Yeah.
And like it's your business.
I know.
You know what I mean? And I lost the point that I was trying to say, but
sorry, I probably cut you off.
No. It's fine. I lost the point that I was trying to say.
Well, what? Okay, so what happened with that other situation?
The other situation
with the girl that had a lawyer.
This was crazy because it was so random. I was just on Instagram. I was minding my own business, as I usually am.
Per usual.
Yes. And I receive a DM, which I accept DMs, but this is probably why people don't accept DMs.
Yeah.
And a DM comes in and she's like, hey, I love your work. I'm obsessed. Are you available for May 31st? And I said, no, I'm not. I actually have a client in the morning. I'm not available. She's like, oh, no. She's like, I really wish you were available. Is there anything you can do? She's like, can you cancel on the bride? She's like, we'd be so much fun anyway. Like, much more fun.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's really bold.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, no. I'm like, but I
no.
But I could see what her schedule looks like.
Yeah.
And if maybe I could just do you and a few of your party or whatever, I'll try to see what I could work.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm going out of my way already. I hate double booking. I really, really do.
Yeah.
It's never a smart thing to do. You're always going to end up not giving your 100 to one of them.
That is what I say. And it's not maybe because you intentionally mean to do it, but
you can't.
Someone gets the shit end of the stick. They just do.
Yeah. Either your first one or your last one. Anyway, so I'm going out of my way to see when this bride needs to be ready by. And she says, oh, I don't need to be ready by 11. The other one doesn't need to be ready by 3.
Oh. Great.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, maybe we could make this work. And I tell her, and I'm like, well, I could be with you at 12, 12:30 the latest.
Yeah.
Do your hair, maybe be ready by 2, and maybe I could do one more bridesmaid. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
But I could have some girls from like that I know that they could start your wedding party and blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh my God, great, fabulous. I'm going to put you, I'm going to have you talk to my coordinator so you guys could talk about timelines. I hate talking about
I hate coordinator. I don't hate all of them, but most of them.
90%
don't talk to me.
of them I hate. And I don't talk to coordinators.
I don't either.
But I'm trying to go out of my way.
Well, and she seems so nice.
She sounds like she really wants me.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of clients that
we want.
Yes, it's the kind of clients that we're like, okay, like we'll go out of your way.
You eat my ass, I'll eat your ass.
Exactly.
And we'll be great.
Yes.
We'll be eating ass together.
Yes. So I'm over here eating ass and talking to the coordinator and just emailing back and forth.
Oh, God. I'm already annoyed for you.
Yeah. I was already annoyed too. And I'm like, pretend schedules. Okay, and what time are you arriving? And
God.
What time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay.
Can't you do the math? It's like, God.
No, they couldn't. And sending pretend schedules. And then, I'm sending the contract. I'm sending all that stuff. And then the coordinator's like, well, can you send us the final estimate of what? Can you send us like an invoice of how much everything's going to be? I'm like, I can't.
Well, I don't know how much it's going to be.
I'm like, I can't.
Because you don't know if you're going to take another person. What if they need...
I haven't met the bride. We haven't done the trial. I don't
extensions.
know if it's gonna need extensions. I don't know parking. I don't know all the little details, and I can't put those in right now until closer to the wedding. Well, we really need a final estimate. I can't give it to you.
I can give you a rough draft.
That's what I told her. And I kept on telling her I could give you a rough... They weren't taking it.
Oh, God.
The bride finally says, okay, I'm going to sign the contract. She sends a deposit on a Tuesday.
Okay.
I receive it.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, you're locked in.
Okay, great.
Automatically.
Super.
She sends the contract the next day.
Okay.
Filled out wrong, but it's signed. It's fine. And then 20 minutes later, she says, are you available for this day for a trial? Mm-hmm. And I said, no, because I have a wedding, but I'm available this day, this day, and this day.
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes after that email, I receive an email from a lawyer saying, Miss So-and-so, because you guys couldn't, because of lack of minds or some weird terminology that he used, would like to cancel services and is requesting the retainer back immediately. Otherwise, we will pursue.
Weird. Sued. Confused.
I was so confused. At this point, I'm pissed off now.
Well, you made me do all this shit, do backflips, and now you're telling me you don't want this.
Not even have the decency to tell me, hey, you know what? I don't think this is going to work out. Something just doesn't feel right. I don't feel comfortable. I would have been like, don't worry, girl. I already have a wedding booked that day. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and we just booked like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, I haven't
tasted the money yet.
Yes. You know what? I already had the money. This was just extra money.
Fucking John.
So at this point, my blood is like,
yeah.
Right? And I call her, no response. I call the coordinator, no response. I have been talking to them and emailing for the last 3 days, and all of a sudden, they have disappeared.
They've died.
Off the face of the planet. I texted them both.
Together?
Oh,
love it.
And I said,
listen up, hoes.
Hey, I just received this weird email from this lawyer.
Oh, you're so funny.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Is someone playing a joke on me?
Yeah. I'm like, if this is a prank, disregard. If it's not.
What the hell?
If it's not a joke, or if it's, if this is somebody that you need to tell me directly.
Yeah.
What is going on. Otherwise, I'm not responding to this email.
Absolutely. It could be a scam.
Yeah.
You don't know.
So the next day, she's like, oh, yes, Sarah, this is to confirm that you're going to be speaking to my counsel now. And I said, very well, you could speak with mine. And I CC'd my lawyer.
My God, I love you.
So it's like I bust out my lawyer when there's a situation like that.
Yeah.
Like, you want to intimidate me with your lawyer saying that if I don't refund you your retainer right now, I'm going to be sued? No. Because in my contract, the retainer is non-refundable.
I was just going to say.
It's non-refundable. Acts of God. There's no reason on earth why I would give you back your retainer.
Absolutely.
And you signed it.
If she would have just said, you know what, I don't think this timeline's going to work out. Like, I made a mistake. Like, do you think there's any way? If anything, you could have maybe refunded her like 150 back, or
I would have given her back the whole retainer.
See, you're so nice.
If she would have come at me a different way.
Yeah.
If she would have been honest and she would have said, it's not, you know what, I don't feel comfortable. This is the only day I could do a trial, or I don't, you know what, it's going to be too rushed. Whatever.
Yeah.
I would have been like, don't worry, here's your money back.
Absolutely.
But because she did what she did,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the right to keep the money.
Absolutely.
I will keep the money.
Good for you.
Because I just spent 3 days emailing back and forth with the coordinator and texting you.
You deserve that $300.
Yes.
Yeah.
That job was like, that work, that admin work was not free.
No. Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
And then I had to like text other stylists. Are you available? Can you help? And doing fake timelines for what? No. Like that is
a waste of time.
That is a waste of time. And I was doing that on a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like,
God, it's the Lord's Day. Let me be.
Right.
God.
But they wanted it right then and there.
Yeah.
It's going to cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So I will bust out my lawyer.
So what happened with that?
Oh my God. So it was Daddy. The lawyer was Daddy.
Of course it was.
It was her dad.
Of course.
They
of
had
course.
the same last name.
You said funny.
Yeah, I was
That's
like,
weird.
Funny. That's very weird. So my lawyer talks to his lawyer, to her lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and it turns out to be Dad. And my lawyer is like, look, like you're really gonna
Like, this is crazy.
for $500
Uh-huh.
or $300.
Yeah.
Sorry, that retainer was like, are you really going to go through litigation and court stuff?
And you don't even have the
$300?
right.
And
You were not going to win.
And Daddy says, well, it's because they won't leave me alone. My daughter and my wife. They're like,
They bullied him?
Yes, they bullied him. Like, you're a lawyer. How can you not get your daughter's money back? And blah, blah, blah.
Your daughter's a dumbass.
Yes, and that's what my lawyer was telling him. They're like, you're not going to win. She signed the contract. Like John. His name was John. Like, you know.
John.
Yeah, John. He's like, John, you know that family isn't always right. Like, they're always going to try to get you to do
Absolutely.
something just because you're the lawyer. He's like, that legally you really can't. He's like, she's got no leg to stand on.
Yeah.
So they kind of forgot about it.
She said, I give up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank God you didn't work with her anyways.
Yeah, no, kidding.
She sounds literally crazy.
She was crazy.
See, okay.
She was crazy.
I love that you have all these stories. And, like, I'm sure you have literally 1,000 more.
I have so many.
God. I can already tell you right now, people listening to this are going to relate to it, be so, like, excited or, like, relieved to have, I don't know, some sort of advice that, like, points them in the right direction.
Which is why I post on my page, and I think it's so important because it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Like, being a bridal makeup artist, any
Vendor.
you do, any vendor,
yeah.
you're always going to have, problematic clients. Sometimes you see that coming, sometimes you really don't. But if you don't share, I feel like if I don't share that with my peers, I can't connect to them. And sometimes people feel alone. Like, is this only happening to me? Like, what am I supposed to do? Am I right? Am I wrong? How do I address something when this happens? So for me, it's like, I really don't care what the client is going to think. For me, it's also important what my fellow makeup artist like can improve on or how it can help her with real life situations.
Yeah.
And just know that it happens to all of us.
It happens to all of us. You and I have both been doing this over 10 years.
Yeah.
And, like, the amount of stories that we both have of just, like,
clients and situations.
Yeah. And so I think it is helpful for people who are, like, just starting or they're getting their feet wet or they've even been doing this for, 5-10 years and they always kind of give in and they don't, like, push or do things. It's like, this is where, and I say this all the time, I think I've said this on every episode, have a lawyer create your contract. If you're making your own contract on Word document, you're not doing you were doing yourself and your business a disservice. And spend the money. You can find somebody who specializes in small business or specifically contracts or whatever it is. You need to do that, and you need to hire somebody to do that.
To review it.
At least review it.
Wording. If you say deposit,
you fucked.
You fucked. You automatically have to give back the money.
Yes, retainer.
When you say retainer,
non-refundable retainer,
you retain the money.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's those little wordings that if you don't have a lawyer and attorney look at, then you can lose.
Absolutely.
Then you could be worried. But once you have this approved by a lawyer,
You go to court, honey.
There is
we'll help
no reason. Yeah, just call me.
My God, call Sarah.
I will represent you. There is no reason for you to be scared.
Yeah.
To actually take someone to court. They're not going to win. They signed it.
And most people probably won't even go the court route.
Right.
Which is, honestly, after this, I'm going to message my client one more time. Mm-hmm. I will do the letter of demand and just say, listen here, I'm real sorry once again, but here this is. You have till May.
Yeah.
And I'll see what she says. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you all posted.
Yeah. And don't be scared if it gets a little messy.
If it gets a little rough.
If it gets a little rough.
I don't think it will. Well, who knows? I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, because in the last one, that's what I was going to say and I forgot. The one that canceled a week before and that she told me that I could fight her if she wants. Mm-hmm. She said, and I'm going to post this on every social media platform so everyone finds out. You guys saw the makeup artist that went viral over the bride washing her face.
Yes. She's a freaking superstar now.
Yeah. But you know how easily you can get canceled now.
Yeah.
Over going on TikTok or going on, Instagram and just posting these kinds of stories. And I told her, if you post anything about me, about my business, I will sue you again on top of the first lawsuit.
Yeah. For slander and defamation. I will be monitoring social media very closely. Love you.
She didn't say a damn word.
She said, never mind, let me.
She said, no review.
Good.
Nothing. No, it's like, I'm not going to live in fear of you, running your mouth because you did something wrong. Like, why?
That's what it all comes down to, honestly.
No, again, this is where my business, where I feel like my nails come out, and I will defend my business
till the end.
Till the end.
Oh, God.
I will take you to court. I will sue you, and it will be known.
God. Okay, well, we're gonna end this fucking episode. That was the perfect fucking ending to this episode. Thank you so much for coming out here, being so honest, being so transparent, and also offering advice. I think a lot of people are going to find this very helpful. So thank you. Yeah, and I'm going to have you back on, and we're going to talk about more stories.
Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, I can't wait to hear, everybody's thoughts on this. So thank you so much. Tell the camera, tell the people your Instagram handle one more time, just so they can find you on Instagram and everything.
It's Hairspray Studio, and my name is Sara.
Okay. Everybody go follow Sara. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.